My name is Adena Danuf. I use she, her pronouns, and I am your Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration. And I was wondering today, have any of you ever used a hula hoop? Yeah, okay, I'm seeing hands. I bet somebody at home might have their hands up too. Whoa, ferns. Okay, don't get too excited. I am not gonna hula hoop on stage today. But if you've tried hula hooping before, you know that to start, you kind of put it over you, right? And you all of a sudden have this hoop on your body, and you're kind of in this barrier circle, right? Yeah, okay. Now imagine that we were all walking around with a hula hoop barrier circle around us. If each person had this big hoop of space surrounding them, life would get pretty funny. Because there would be this space around you. Imagine trying to reach for your cereal bowl and eat cereal over your hoop. Or imagine trying to buckle into your car around this hoop. It would be kind of funny to see. And the hoop space would create space between us too, right? My hoop space would bump against your hoop space, and your hoop space would bump against their hoop space, and everybody's hoop space is just bumping all around. Yeah, we would come in here on Sunday mornings and it would look funny. We would try to play on the playground and we'd just be kind of bumping off of each other because we would all have this hoop space around us. But the funny thing is, we do already kind of have a circle of space around us at all times. It's something we call our boundaries. Sometimes boundaries are an amount of space around something or the limits something has. Like if I walk around the church property, I'm gonna hit a few fences, right? I'm gonna hit the road, and those are the boundaries of this space. If I have this hula hoop around me, it would be clear that I have some space around me. And if you had one too, then it would be clear that there is space between us. Now, in the last few years, we've had to think a lot about the space around us. Physical distance between people has been an important way that we have kept people safe from COVID. You may remember that in one point in time, the recommendation was to be 6 feet apart. That means that we all had pretty big hoops. Yeah? Yeah. And now we're finding, at least for this moment in time, that our hula hoops might not need to be as big, okay? Maybe they can just be a little smaller. Maybe we don't need as much space around us. And that can be exciting, because that means that some people in our community and some people in other spaces and really just everybody is getting time to spend more time together again and be in the same place. And some people are also ready to rip off those masks and maybe get rid of hula hoops altogether, be all up in each other's space again. And that's cool for some people. And other people still want to wear masks and keep those hula hoops out and keep a bit of space between us, and that's cool too for some people. And then there are people who, for various reasons, want to keep their hula hoops very big. And maybe they're at home right now, being a part of this community from wherever they are that is safer and more comfortable to them. And that is cool too. Hula hoops come in different sizes, and the space that we want around us can come in different sizes too. Cool concept. Now, all of this, all these different boundaries and desires about the way we want to be together make perfect sense, given that we have been through a lot. Yeah, you can nod. We have been through a lot, right? And all of these are healthy responses, and they feel right to different people. So as we start to spend time together again and we get to know each other again, getting to know you, it's going to take time to learn and figure out everyone's boundaries and figure out the size of each person's hula hoop. And the first step toward that is knowing how big your own hula hoop should be. And not only can hula hoops or boundaries change from person to person, your boundaries can change from moment to moment. Maybe some days you're the one who wants to rip off that mask and run around hugging everyone, And then maybe other days you're the one who wants to keep it on and have a lot of that space around you. We listen to ourselves to figure out what our personal boundaries should be. And we make space for others so we can understand what they're comfortable with too. This means we might have to approach things a little differently, even with people we've known for a really long time. So yesterday, I got to see a friend from church that I haven't seen 2 years. And he wanted a hug. He was having a really small hula hoop moment. And we have hugged many times before. But instead of just walking up to me with open arms, showing me that he wanted a hug, and making me feel like I wasn't being nice if I didn't go in for that hug, he asked something along the lines of, "Are you open for a hug?" And that moment gave me a chance to think about my hula hoop, to think about my boundaries, to think about how I was feeling. And I could have said something like, "I'm not really feeling a hug today. Maybe we can elbow bump instead." And I felt like that would have been okay. Or what I did say was, "Yes, I would love a hug." He told me how he was feeling with his boundaries, and he gave me a chance to share mine. Because we are in different places right now. And honestly, we're always in different places. We always have been, and that is perfectly okay. One way we show compassion to one another is to make sure our boundaries respect each other's wishes, especially the ones that might be harder to follow sometimes, like still wearing masks in the sanctuary, or not singing when we're together when that was the rule, but that's not the rule. I might have written this a little while ago. Or hugging someone when it feels uncomfortable. Our job is to listen to ourselves and to listen to one another and figure out how big each person's hula hoop is in that moment. This is a way we show respect for one another. It's one of our principles. So my challenge to you this week is to find yourself with another person and feel comfortable sharing maybe how big your boundaries are at that time, and give them a moment to share theirs too. They will probably be grateful that you asked about their hula hoop. Then maybe we can talk about how boundaries are not always physical, but Reverend Kayla's going to cover that a little later. Thank you.